Lomachenko is trying to fight George Kambosos in Australia, says his promoter, Bob Arum. Will Devin Haney get jerked out of another opportunity to fight for titles? These are the things I will talk about in this video. Stay tuned. Look, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. I am the best doing it. Now, Bob Arum is trying to make Vasiliy Lomachenko. It says Lomachenko, quote, well prepared to challenge George Kambosos, and that's the fight his team is trying to get over the line. And it says Vasiliy Lomachenko first choice to fight is George Kambosos in his home of Australia. Lomachenko, who in turn surprisingly lost to Teofimo. And I don't see why people keep addressing it like that. See, this is the problem with old media. Old media, they'll frame something and they'll make it look like, first of all, I don't immortalize these fighters. These are just regular people who fight for a living. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people treat these fighters like they're superheroes and they're incapable of losing or infallible. Like, I don't see that. So whoever wrote this, they said Lomachenko, who in turn surprisingly lost to Lopez. It wasn't a surprise because I picked Teofimo to beat Lomachenko, and I turned out to be right. Says since responded with 2 emphatic wins. Not really. I mean, he fought Komei and Nakatani. Bob Arum says, quote, we are talking to the Kambosos Jr. people about Lomachenko going to Australia, which Lomachenko is prepared to do. It will be a huge fight in Australia, but we have Rona 19 problems to clear, which I think we can do. This fight against Kambosos Jr. in Australia is my first choice for Loma. Loma is well prepared to do it. Lomachenko had previously said about going into enemy territory to fight Kambosos. Of course, I need this chance. I would take it. In this weight division, we have a lot of great fighters, so we can organize great fights. Yada, yada, yada. Kambosos previously told Fox Sports about bringing the title defense home. He says, we've got to really let Australia know what's going on and how big this fight could be. This will be the biggest fight in Australian history. It'll be a stadium fight, Sydney or Melbourne. We're in negotiations with both. It'll be very exciting. It wouldn't be real to the crowd if I told them I was coming back for an easy fight. What for? I'm coming for the big names, and we're already in negotiations with everybody. Now, I made a video about this. Devin Haney has basically said that he doesn't want Kambosos to duck. Just to recap, Devin Haney said, yo, George Kambosos, are we making this fight happen or what? I'm agreeing to all your terms, whether it's a vaccine or the travel. Starting to look like some ducking going on, Eddie Hearn. Now, Devin Haney also spoke to Sports Illustrated and stated that he even got himself the first regimen of a vaccine to make this a reality, because there's strict protocols for entering Australia, and you know, he wants to fight so bad that he's willing to get vaccinated for that, you know, to make sure he's in compliance so he can get this fight. So he's willing to go to Australia, no problem. And then Kambosos responded, I love how you try to manipulate and lie to your fans, talk a big game but show no actions, a bit like your fights. Yawn. I'm patiently waiting for all my belts for the offer from your boss, Mr. Eddie Hearn, because I got a stadium ready in Australia, but all I could see is excuses already. Now, one thing Kambosos just said in the previous quote from the article was that he's so excited to bring a fight in Australia, and he says that we're already in negotiations with both teams, and we're in negotiation with everyone. But then here he's saying that we're waiting for your boss to send us an offer. Eddie Hearn has also thrown out the idea of possibly doing the Middle East. Now, my thoughts on this have not changed one bit. Kambosos also said, I'm not here for Twitter fights like most of these cats. I'm here for real fights. To be honest, you got to give respect to myself, Teo, and Lomachenko. Out of the one emperor, 4 kings, and the Matrix, we all stepped up and fought, while the others fought on Twitter, just stating facts. Now you tell me who ducks. Now, I really actually don't prefer this response from George Kambosos because it sounds like very old media-ish to me, because we can date this back to Devin Haney when he called out Lomachenko, and he was calling him Nomachenko and calling for the fight. And then politics got in the way, and Lomachenko's team, which they've denied, and the WBC said that they did it. But nonetheless, they came out with the franchise champion in the lightweight division. So Lomachenko didn't take the opportunity to fight the number one at the time rated Devin Haney. So he was left out in the cold. So for George Kambosos, he's saying like, hey, you got to respect me, Tio, and Loma, because we all duking them out. But that's because the politics played out. There's also famously put this list that Top Rank has, which is partly probably why they're being sued by Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is basically stating that there's racially motivated bias that comes from the company. They lack diversity, etc. But there's this infamous NBF no black fighter list, and it's not even coming. It wasn't even revealed to the public by a black person. It was revealed by a Caucasian person, Cameron Duncan, who used to manage Crawford. And he said he's seen the list, he's seen the vision board or whatever at Top Rank, and they really have this no black fighter NBF list. So for Kambosos, what he's saying right there is inaccurate. He's saying you got to give us all respect because we stepped up and fought. But Devin Haney was honestly trying to step up and fight against Lomachenko, but Lomachenko and his team didn't make that a reality. But now you see Lomachenko's team, they're all about a Kambosos fight because Teofimo beat him. So it's like the powers that be, they want so bad for Lomachenko to try to get his hands on the titles again. And I really don't care for the Lomachenko. I think that's probably the weakest. I'm not even capping, I'm being real. I would rather see, I don't think Ryan Garcia deserves the fight with Kambosos, but I would rather see it. Let's see some new blood and some of the younger guys fight. We've already seen Lomachenko, and he's already 2 losses in, and he doesn't even have 20 fights to me. And it doesn't, I don't think it'll be big for the division. So I agree with Devin Haney right here. You see on the screen, he said, that's right, bro. Loma is out. So I don't know why. I mean, I can understand from a Top Rank perspective, they're trying to get in the mix, trying to see if Lomachenko can get these belts back. But I just don't think it's a big fight like they're making it out to be with Lomachenko. Lomachenko is not a big draw. Like, no matter what you say, Lomachenko, the numbers are showing you that. How many people truly watch the Richard Comey fight? And I'm not talking about like radical diehard boxing fans, because to get to amass, to get the masses and to amass a crazy following and astronomical numbers like Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Conor McGregor, you need more than just diehard boxing fans. So how many people are really checking for Lomachenko at this current point? And I think the division needs new life breathed into it. And I think this can happen with Kambosos versus Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, even though I don't think, as I mentioned earlier, that Ryan Garcia, with how his last year played out, I don't think he deserves it. I still think it would be better for the status of the lightweight division for these young guys to try to scrap with Kambosos and carry the torch. And the way guys like Devin Haney has acquitted himself, I think it'll also be better, because if Lomachenko were to beat Kambosos, and he might even be the favorite, right? But if he were to beat Kambosos, the division goes back dormant, and it goes back to a state of just politics and games. And I think that's how Top Rank would probably choose to play it with Lomachenko. They're going to start clout chasing maybe Gervonta Davis and saying Lomachenko's the king of the hill because he got the belts. And, you know, it's going to be that again, versus if Devin Haney fights Kambosos, we will finally undo the mess that the WBC has created with the whole franchise champion and the confusion with the belt. So it's just more positives for Kambosos to fight some of the younger fighters in the lightweight division. And again, I'm going to always, every time I'm talking about this lightweight division, I'm going to keep bringing this up. It's ironic when there's a black fighter who has a controversial or a close fight, and it's almost immediate pressure for that person to give or go into a rematch, an immediate situational type of rematch, if they had a loss or a controversial win or an unexpected upset loss. But then when Teofimo, a non-black fighter like Teofimo Lopez, loses, and he loses bad to Kambosos, and his name's not even in the running, he's just leaving the division, and there's no pressure. Just like Lomachenko, and that's another bad thing for Lomachenko, is Lomachenko has never avenged any of his losses from Teofimo or the Salido loss. It's just like it's expected that he can bounce back from beating other guys, Rocky Martinez or Gary Russell, or he could beat Komei or Nakatani, other guys that really aren't world beaters, right? And except for Gary Russell, I rate Gary Russell. But at the time, Gary Russell's resume was not what it is today. But anyway, beating Nakatani and Komei, that doesn't really, to me, earn you a coveted opportunity. Meanwhile, guys like Devin Haney, he's been positioned in such a horrible way where he's making a lot of money, but every single time these situations come, he gets the short end of the stick. He was trying to fight Luke Campbell. Top Rank came in and scooped Luke Campbell, so he didn't get as number 2, and Luke Campbell at the time was rated number 1. They should have fought for the vacant WBC title vacated by Mikey Garcia, and then Devin Haney gets shafted because that vacant title, Lomachenko fought for it, right, against Luke Campbell, and it left Devin Haney out in the cold. Then when Luke Campbell loses to Lomachenko, the number 1 guy became Devin Haney, and then Lomachenko does the politic thing, asks the WBC, which is confirmed, and I'll probably make another updated video, y'all must have forgot, and he's asking for the franchise championship like Canelo, the designation, which they said was non-transferable, that they later changed in the Teofimo Loma fight, and Devin Haney got shafted again. So now you mean to tell me that Top Rank's trying to shaft Devin Haney again, all for Lomachenko, who's not popping like that? I don't want to see it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.